A little bit ago, I made a video about preterm born adults and the connection between them and anxiety disorders, and I got a comment that I wanted to respond to. They said, if being born prematurely is a factorial cause of having anxiety disorders, what is the solution to that? All you're doing is taking away their personal agency of the situation by telling them that they were born this way and it's not their fault. Another way of saying it is, it's bad luck that you were born this way, now you're stuck with it. Sucks to be you. If the world is the problem, how can we fix that? If I'm the problem, maybe I can fix that. If there was a medical solution to the physical trauma or erroneous development that occurred to cause the issue, sure, that might be helpful. But I think that there's little to be gained by telling someone that the circumstances of their birth created the problem if the treatment for the issue remains unchanged by this fact. I understand where you're coming from, but I think that you are fundamentally misunderstanding what I'm actually saying and why. First, I reject the idea that this is a sucks to be you message. For a lot of people born preterm, anxiety isn't just something that they have, it's something that they quietly blame themselves for. They think that they're weak, broken, dramatic, or morally failing in some way. Explaining that there's a well-documented biological and developmental reason for these predispositions doesn't remove their agency, it removes the shame they feel for it. I'm not saying you're doomed, I'm saying you aren't alone and you're not defective. That reframing really matters. Secondly, public awareness does actually change outcomes even if it doesn't magically cure the anxiety. If parents of a preemie recognize the anxiety symptoms in their child and it gets their child help with that, worth it. If teachers, clinicians, or doctors screen more carefully because they understand that preterm birth is a long-term risk factor for mental health problems, also worth it. If a single adult who's struggled for years with the anxiety thinks, wait a second, this didn't just come out of nowhere, I should seek support for it, instead of blaming themselves continuously, also worth it. Knowledge changes behavior. It changes who gets help and when they get help. And finally, yes, there may not be a cure for being born early, but education, visibility, and validation still have intrinsic value. We don't only talk about things once they're fixable. We talk about them because naming reality better helps people navigate it. Because understanding your own nervous system changes how you treat yourself. Because community reduces isolation. This isn't about resignation to your fate. It's about replacing self-hatred with context and silence with understanding. And for a lot of people, especially preterm born adults who were never told why things felt harder for them, that alone, I believe, is powerful and worth speaking up for.